The brand new Grow a Garden crafting update is coming very, very soon. I'm going to be showing you everything you need to do to prepare for this to make sure that you are ready for it. This is going to include what items you need to get ready and everything else you need to know about the crafting update. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So if you haven't already known, I did make a little announcement about what's going to happen for this up. So if we head over to the announcements channel, it says, hey, I wanted to do a quick update with the crafting feature. After listening to your feedback closely, we have decided to make a change. Originally, we planned to remove the B event and replace it with crafting, but we heard from many of you that this is not a good idea, basically. So we're switching things up. Instead of removing the B event, we're adding the crafting as a new feature alongside it. The bear will now have its own crafting menu where you can choose what recipes to create. After the event, we want to hear if the community, if you like crafting, and if so, basically, they'll keep crafting as a permanent feature inside of the game. We're always listening, and your feedback matters. Our goal is to keep building a game that's fun. We appreciate you being a part of it. The reactions are broken, so yeah. And it looks like 10,000 people voted on this. I thought more people actually voted on this originally. When I first voted, it said 70, 90,000 or something like that. So you heard it yourself. They are basically going to do a test run with the crafting feature, but it's going to run off of the B event. So it's still going to be kind of B themed and all of that, but it of course is going to potentially be a permanent feature later in the game. Now, originally that was the goal. I believe it was to be a permanent feature, but now it's going to be part of the B event. And then if people like it, they'll end up keeping it in the game. So what do you need to do to prepare for this update? Well, I need to tell you one more thing quickly before I actually tell you everything you need to prepare for. But this actually ties into what you need to prepare for. So if you click on the event right here, it's going to say a working bee. So they've actually updated a lot of information here. But the main thing I want to point out is also don't forget to log in for the update for the free cooked owl pet. Yes, guys, you can get a free cooked owl pet by logging in during the update. Now, a lot of people last time when I made the chicken jockey video were way behind on this. So make sure you're online. I'm going to post a video on how to get it once it's ready. So be tuned for stay tuned for that and all that good stuff. Now, the next thing I want to go ahead and point out is obviously this new description that they have gone ahead and made. Explore the working bee event. So again, this is no longer called the crafting update or whatever. It's called the working bee update. So the bee event is growing. The Busy Bear has set up a new brand of crafting stations where you can use materials and easily create the rewards you're after and lots more. So basically, there's a way to craft stuff now. Explore the working bee event and also discover new seeds, pets, features, and expansion of the bee event, and so much more in Grow a Garden update. So it's a huge expansion to what we already have, but we do have a couple of leaks. I'm not going to show them again because I've already shown them in multiple other videos, but one of them is actually going to be the honey tornado. Now, this is not confirmed, and I've actually been in the test server and I haven't seen anything about the honey tornado. So there is no guarantees that this will actually be added to the game. However, I did definitely see it in the up. So what all do we need to do? We need to go ahead, obviously, and get a bunch of honey. This is just obvious. You never know when you're needed. I have around 7,233 honey, so I've been grinding a bit. But another thing is obviously this quest giver right here. I'd recommend trying to finish this off. So yeah, now the next thing I want to mention, obviously, because we're crafting, we don't really know what exactly we're going to need, but I do have a couple theories that I think will help you guys a lot when it comes to maxing this update out and getting a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna head back over to the shop over here, and here's what I'm gonna recommend you guys go ahead and buy. So obviously some flower packs, because you may need those seeds to trade in. Lavender seeds, like always. Nectarine seeds or nectar shade seeds. Nectarine seeds if you can get them. Any seed in the shop, I'd recommend buying them if you can get them. And really just anything you can go ahead and purchase that is a seed or potentially an egg, because these I think will be tradable and you'll be able to, I believe, trade these in at some point. So you need to make sure you get a lot of honey. You need to make sure you also get a lot of pollinated plants ready on standby, because like we saw with the last update, you have to trade stuff in. Now there's no guarantee that you have to trade stuff in with this update, but there is definitely potential for that to be a part of the game. So be careful and be ready for that to make sure you get a bunch of stuff. And like I said, make sure you're ready for the owl, because you will get that if you are online during the update. Next thing I recommend doing, obviously, is getting a bunch of bees. That way you can pollinate easier and potentially trade in your pollinated stuff later on. I'm going to go ahead and feed all my pets because I need to do that. I'm not done. Alrighty, guys. So once you have gotten all of that, you should be pretty much prepared for the up, because we need a bunch of seeds, a bunch of honey, and basically all of that to go ahead and craft. Now, do know that there are a ton of new pets coming to the game. I actually have seen them in the testing server. So be ready. There's a ton of new stuff you can craft. There is so much more coming to the game. So be ready for that.